Welcome to CAV-TV News for Thursday, April 14th, 2010. I'm Nancy Kamal.
And I'm Bo Endine. Before we begin, let's go to Clifton and Joy for a look at what's going on around the world.
Saturday in western Russia, a plane killed 96 people. Among the bodies found were Poland's president, his wife, and other highest military and civilian leaders. Bad weather was the cause of the crash. In the village of Guzno in northern Poland, the streets were largely empty as people stayed home to watch televisions. It is very symbolic that they were flying to pay homage to so many murdered Poles, said one resident, 73. I worry because so many clever and decent people were killed, said a high school student. I'm afraid we may have problems in the future to find equally talented politicians. Poland, a nation of 38 million people, is by far the largest of the 10 formerly communist countries that have joined the European Union in recent years. Last year, Poland was the only EU nation to avoid recession and posted economic growth of 1.7%.
Many parents have placed their young children in a traditional Boy Scouts of America unaware of the safety measurements that the programs are proceeding to pursue. Jurors in Portland, Oregon awarded a former Boy Scout $1.4 million after finding Tuesday that the organization was negligent in allowing a scout leader who was a sex offender to have contact with him. How the Scouts handled the case of the former scout leader, Timur Dykes, was at the center of the explosive lawsuit. Dykes was removed as a scout leader due to his previous record, but was still allowed to stay with the program as a volunteer, and that is when the abuse continued. Documents were used during the court case as reference that Dyke was a part of an archive of previous secret Boy Scout files that included decades of abused boys. Boy Scouts of America claimed that they were unaware of his previous documents and his outstanding warrant at the time. The program claimed that once they were fully aware of the situation, they acted immediately and cooperated with police. In recent years, the organization has taken extensive measures to keep the abusers out. They are saddened by what happened to the plaintiff. They claim that the actions of the man who committed these crimes do not represent the values and ideas of the Boy Scouts of America. If you want to know any more information about registered sex offenders who could possibly be local in your area, please visit www.registeredsexoffenders.com.
400 people were killed due to a massive earthquake in China. The series of quakes struck a mountainous area of western China on Wednesday. Tens of thousands were injured and many more trapped. The largest quake was recorded by the U.S. Geological Survey at magnitude 6.9. Many flooded the streets, and reports show students buried inside their schools. The area is remote, and it will make the rescue effort all the more difficult. State media said residents fled as the ground shook, toppling houses made of mud and wood, as well as temples, gas stations, and electric poles. There were also landslides. They said hotel staff also helped in rescue efforts. More than 100 guests of the hotel, which was relatively undamaged, were evacuated to open spaces such as public squares.
Last Thursday, an adopted family put their 8-year-old son, Adam Saveli, on a solo transatlantic flight from the United States to Moscow. They hired a Russian driver to deliver the boy from the airport to the Russian Ministry of Education. When Adam arrived, he carried a letter written by his adopted mother, Tori Hansen, which claimed that he is mentally unstable, violent, and has severe psychopathic issues and behaviors. She claimed that she was lied to and misled by the Russian orphanage workers and director regarding his mental stability. She no longer wants to put her friends and families at harm risk and stated in the letter that she wanted the adoption annulled. Russian officials are fuming at these accusations. They claim that Adam is in very good mental health and physical condition and is extremely nice with great communication skills. The Russian media focused intense attention on several previous cases in recent years of abuse involving adopted Russian children in the United States. Not surprisingly, some Russians are calling for an end to the practice of foreign adoption. The United States Department offered to send a delegation of diplomats to Moscow later this month to address the adoption issue. Russia has no shortage of orphans. The United States Children's Fund reported that in 2008, some 714,000 Russian children were living in the state institutions. Unlike many Western societies, the vast majority, 83% of these children, are social orphans taken from the biological parents who were deemed unfit by Russian state agencies. Adam, who has now lost 2 families, will be replaced for adoption only by a Russian family.
The Commonwealth of Virginia can ban alcohol ads in college newspapers. A divided federal appeals court has restored Virginia's ban on alcohol advertising in college newspapers. Richmond concluded the restriction does not unduly limit free speech rights on Friday. The restriction also bans the phrase happy hour and references to specific mixed drinks. In an email, the Attorney General's office said, "We're pleased the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals agreed with our view. The ban is in hopes of attacking the problem of underage and dangerous drinking by college students."
The Government's Recovery Act is responsible for between 2.2 million and 2.8 million jobs through the first quarter of 2010, according to the latest stimulus report from President Obama's chief economic advisor. The report from the White House Council of Economic Advisors says that $787 billion economic stimulus is on the track to create or save 3.5 million jobs by the end of this year. The economy is finally starting to pick up and put Americans back to work. $525 billion of the stimulus money has been committed to specific projects, and $370 billion has been paid out. More than $110 billion went to tax relief through credits for the first-time home buyers, for college expenses, and for energy-efficient home improvements. Another $90 billion went to the unemployment benefits and food assistance through the end of March. Future college graduates and unemployed citizens should now feel more comfortable in entering our job industry.